If you are a woman in business looking at your bank account, like, I know I should be making more. I deserve to be making more. My expertise is of high value. Why is my bank account not matching that? Then this video is for you. There is nothing more frustrating than knowing that your work is great, but feeling like you're underpaid. Looking at your bank account frustrated, watching other people who are less passionate, who are less qualified pass you by, and you're just hidden behind this curtain of self-doubt, lack of appreciation, being underpaid, all the things. If that is how you are feeling, then I am so happy that you clicked on this video. I am going to be breaking down with you 3 traits that 6-figure women have in common in business. But most importantly, if you get nothing from this video, I want this to amp you up to go make more money right now. Not later, now, sis. As a woman who's taking your expertise, your knowledge, your insights, and putting it into content, events, programs, services, you're creating these offers, you're putting them out, and you're making money from them. That's cool. That's great. And I'm proud. I'm proud that I get to be one of those women who have figured out, how do I take what I know and what I'm really good at and bring it into my own personal brand and business. But there also comes a time when you're looking at the money that you're making and you're like, but this ain't enough. This ain't mathing, okay? I want more. I deserve more. And I need more. I remember having this moment where I was like, I literally will be making 6 figures in my corporate career. Why am I not allowing myself to do the same thing in my business? Maybe you've had a moment like that. And sometimes it's a tough moment. It's a tough pill to swallow. I was journaling a couple weeks ago, and something that I actually said to myself as I think about, like, my clients were asking me to create some money mindset things for them. And I always like to think about, like, well, what has helped me? And one of the things that I thought about was the fact that it's not about you comparing yourself to what others have done or to the industry or everyone talking about 6 figures this and 7 figures that and 8 figures this, okay? It really is you knowing what you can do. Like, when you think about yourself, when you think about all that you have overcome, when you think about all the things that you've been able to accomplish, all the investments that you've made in yourself to get to the point that you're at, when you sit and you think about that, sis, you're like, wait a minute, I know where I've come from. I know what I've done. I know who I am. I know who I'm here to be. The two aren't matching. So if any point of you feels like, no, I don't just want to watch this because I want to step into the 6-figure, multiple 6-figure, 7-figure, whatever number that is for you, I'm unattached to that. But what I do want to invite you to do is to be connected with who you know you can be, how much you know you can make, how much money you know that your value is worth. And doesn't it shift the conversation when we go from that space of, like, I am going to be making 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever that is for you. I'm going to be making that because I know what I can do. And I know that anything less is me showing up less than for myself. Not just, I need to charge this much for clients because of this strategy. I need to make sure I'm positioning myself because of this strategy. No, I'm showing up for myself because I know what I'm here to do. I know what I'm here to have. I know who I'm here to touch. I know how I'm here to touch them. And the best part is you can use these traits to really assess things for yourself, whether you're making your first 6 figures or your next 6 figures. I remember making my first 6 figures, these traits were needed. I remember making my first 6 figures in 6 months. These traits were needed. I remember making multiple 6 figures. These traits were needed. So I don't want you to make this a thing about whether it's your first 6 figures or this is going to be your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10th, 11th. I don't care. I have found that literally these same traits, I just need to keep going deeper and deeper. Like, literally, it's me going through these same traits, assessing them for myself. In this season, how am I doing with trait number 1? In this season, how am I doing with trait number 2? In this season, how am I doing with trait number 3? And literally the next season, there's a whole new version of me that's activated and that needs to assess, okay, well, how am I doing now with this? Ooh, I didn't discover this part. I'm going to tweak this or change that. Because the reality is, what happens is, as you keep expanding, you become different layers of yourself, but I really like to say deeper layers. And the only reason that that happens is because the you today doesn't necessarily understand things that you tomorrow is going to go through. Because there's certain options and opportunities and access points, and, like, there's certain things that you're just not aware of today as who you are, and that's okay. In 2 years, there's going to be things that you are aware of that you're like, whoo, okay, I didn't know this about myself before. Or, you know what, I knew this, but I was kind of hiding from it. I didn't really want to do the work for it. It's so important to give yourself permission to keep expanding. And it's not a money thing. It's not a number thing. It's a you thing, right? So I want to invite you, as you take these 3 traits in, I want you to know that I want you to revisit these. I would encourage you. I would invite you. The level of depth you're going to be able to go on these same traits today versus yesterday is insane. same, but then tomorrow versus today is going to be amazing. And then 2 years from tomorrow is going to be amazing. So allow yourself to keep expanding through these different traits. And before I start with the first trait, let me just say this to be clear in the room. We all have potential in every part of our body, in every part of our voice, in every part of our being. Sis, this is not the video where you're going to make it a story around what is available for you and what isn't available for you. This is available for you. You know why? Because something led you to this video. No, it wasn't the YouTube algorithm. No, it wasn't the strategy behind the keywords and all that. It's because you needed to get this video. It's because this needed to be a reminder for you around what you are here to do, around what's available for you, around what's possible for you. So please know that you have potential, you have purpose within every part of who you are. I don't care about where you came from. I don't care about your parents. I don't care about what environment you were born into. I don't care about how many years of experience you have. I don't care about the number of clients you had up until now. Stop using those measures to measure your purpose, to measure where you are meant to go. Now that we clear the air, let's go ahead and dive into trait number one. Trait number one for six-figure women, things that they have in common: stepping into this unwavering and unapologetic energy around what you want. Now let me say this. When you think about making six figures, it is not about the number. It is beyond that. It's an energy. When I think about making six figures, again, forget the number. It's really just, what's the next level of how I want to experience life every single day? What do I want my home to feel like? What do I want my time to feel like? What do I want my space to feel like? How do I want to feel in my clothes? What do I want to smell like? What type of things do I want on my body, in my body, right? How you want to eat, how you want to run your day, how you want to spend your time, what do you want to be doing within that time? So there are so many expansive questions that you could be asking yourself and you could reflect on that will get you connected to the energy of the six-figure you versus this, how do I hit this number? That's going to be real boring. When you have those moments where you're like, okay, I don't see this happening. I don't see the number moving. But guess what? You're going to start seeing other things in your life shift quicker for you. And that's going to allow you to step into the energy to like, oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I see myself on track for this six figures. I see myself on track for this multiple six figures. Okay, for this next six figures. I see myself on track for that. I can feel that happening. And that feeling, that energy is then going to give you the energy, the momentum, the belief that you need to go do the next thing that's going to add to it. And now those things are going to keep compounding on top of each other. And so every single day you paying attention to, what do I want this to feel like? Ooh, wait a minute. When I made my matcha latte this morning, ooh, I felt like my six-figure self. Ooh, when I put on that certain kimono, I felt like my six-figure self. Ooh, when I was running my meeting like this or like that, I felt like my six-figure self. When I was working with these types of clients and creating content and it was feeling like this and that, like I felt like my six-figure self. Like the more that you step into the identity of that, the more that you start to see how much is around you, the more that you start to see how much is available for you. And this is not no woo, y'all. Y'all know, okay, listen, I'm woo with 1 O is what I like to tell my clients. But this is not some like, this doesn't make sense, blah, blah. This is for the practical woman. I am the practical woman. Hello. This needs to make sense. I want you to really reflect on this. When you are in spaces where you constantly think about the lack in your life, does any of that motivate you to see yourself as the person who gets to have beyond that? Now, I have had times, right, growing up in a single parent household, limited income, projects, all that. I definitely had this like motivation early on in life where it was like, because I didn't have, that pushed me to want more. But y'all, I'm gonna say this, sis, please hear this. When you come to a season where, for me, I had 4 jobs at one time in college. I literally did all of my college stuff. My mother literally just had to sign. I went through all my corporate stuff by myself. Like there were things I was doing as a teenager, right? I was the first one in my immediate household to have a car. I'm taking my mother to get groceries at 16 years old with the car that I bought, that I saved money for. I'm paying my car insurance. There were so many things that I was doing so early on in life. And so it created this very like, I'm going to rely on myself type of energy. Yes, there were things that motivated me, like not having, the lack of it motivated me. But when you get to a season, sis, where that's no longer your story, right? That's a part of your past, but that is not your story today. That's not your reality today. And so you get into this space where you have experience having more, the lack doesn't motivate you as much. Now, let me know in the comments what you feel about this. I have just figured out for me, the lack way doesn't motivate me as much. It's actually me leaning into, well, what more do I want? Because, oh my gosh, I used to have to worry about what we were eating for dinner. I don't have to worry about that now. I used to have to worry about, like, my mother with the AC in the summer, y'all. It was like crazy. And I don't have to worry about that. We keep our AC on. We keep our house cool. We don't let it drop and then we do this, or like have a bunch of fans and have this and have that. There's just certain things, right, that I don't worry about. That lack mentality that maybe got you through the first phases of your life. Thank you. That's how I survived. But I don't need to access that anymore to thrive. To thrive, there's a different type of energy. And so I have a feeling that if you are watching this, you are in a space where you've allowed yourself to grow through a lot of things in your life. Nobody knows how far you've come but you, sis, okay? As much as you. But what I know is that in this new season of where you're going, that lack isn't going to motivate you as much. So what you're going to have to do is step into unwavering and unapologetic, just complete permission around what you want. And a part of that is letting go of shame. Letting go of shame around what you want. Declare what you want. What do you want in your home? What is it that you want in your next car? What do you want with your time? Like, what do you want in your business? Whatever that is, you're gonna have to define what that is for you and allow yourself to have it, and let go of shame of what your family members are gonna think. Let go of shame of what your old colleagues are gonna think. Let go of shame of what the old you would have thought. How many times have we had moments of like, well, ooh, who does she think she is? Or maybe we've seen other people do it. It's so ingrained in us. We're so used to people in our family doing it at Thanksgiving. We're so used to people in our family or friends doing it at a cookout. We're so used to like people doing it on the internet. And so we literally take that on as like, oh Jesus, well, I don't want to be the one up leveling, because when I up level, the other people are gonna be saying that about me. We are gonna have to let go of this shame for wanting more, for having more. We're gonna have to let go of this shame around the fact that we get to be more. And it's not only available to us, it's actually available to every one of us. But here's the thing, you're willing to do things that other people won't. I can think about back in 2016, we've actually talked about this in a video. I did a video about comparison. Maybe we'll insert a clip, but in short, in 2016, it took me I had to hire a mindset coach and then I had a business coach, all to like, one of the things was to do my first video. And now I'm thousands of videos later. But in 2016, I remember doing my first video. I was so excited. I was like, why the heck did it take me all this time to do this? And then that was when Facebook Live first came out. It was a whole new platform. I didn't know it. I was new to video, but I was willing to show up pretty much every day back then for a Facebook live stream. So guess what? I made $165,000 in 18 months, just about 18 months. I was willing to show up and be vulnerable. I was willing to commit to showing up on camera. Y'all, listen, when I look at first of all, I didn't have my eyebrows microbladed like I do now. So literally I'd be looking at my eyebrows like, oh, why didn't I get them done already? Or like even just how I did like my makeup, like I really didn't wear makeup, and I don't wear a ton of makeup now. Like I am not a makeup queen or anything like that now, but I do little something better than I did back then. So I just look at like even how I did like lip liner. I look at those things and I'm like, oh Jesus, oh Jesus. I think even in the clip that we have, like my hair was looking kind of crazy. So it's so interesting just to look at your past self. But the reality is you have to be willing, not even have to, excuse me. I believe you already are. I believe you already are willing to do things that people want. You're willing to show up and be more vulnerable and share your story. You are wanting to do it right now. There could be some mindset stuff coming up, but like you are willing to do it. A part of that is you being willing to allow these things for yourself. That's why you get to have them. They're available for all of us, but some of us are willing to do things that others won't. I was willing to invest in myself. I remember going full-time in my business. I made a $12,000 investment in business coaching when I went full-time in my business. It wasn't, oh, well, let me go full-time, let me make some money, and then let me go do this. Let me wait for me to get these clients. No, I showed up for myself and betted on myself before I was asking other people to. Now, yes, I did make some money, but I was not making enough to, in my opinion, be making a $12,000 investment. I had not had a $12,000 month. So the fact that I'm making a $12,000 investment the same month that I go full-time is like, what are you doing? But I was willing to show up for myself in that way. I was willing to show up for myself and do the mindset work, therapy, years of therapy, allowing myself to go deeper within myself, to become aware of things that I hid from for so long. I have been willing to do the work and to do the things that some may not. I've been willing to say no to some things because I was wanting to say yes to things later, and vice versa. I've been willing to say yes to things so I could say no to some stuff too. You're gonna have to be unwavering about what it is you want and allow yourself the space to have it without shame. And I also just want to add, it's okay for the new version of you to want more. It's okay for the new version of you to have a different type type of life than the old version of you. It's okay for the new version of you to make more money than your parents made. It's okay for the new version of you to just do things and experience things in life that maybe others in your family haven't, even if those things were shame. Because from a money mindset standpoint, how many times are we talking about like what the wealthy do and how they treat people and do this and do that? Money isn't the reason why those people acting like that. Those people were already that way. Money just allowed them to heighten it. That's it. You driving a car, the car is not doing anything good or bad. The car is simply doing what you tell the car to do. The car is a tool. Money is a tool. Money does not make you this way or that way. You were that way already, and then you got more money to amplify the bad that was already in you. You could be broke and be bad too. Okay, so this idea of like money making these changes, no, that's not the case. I believe that the women that I attract, the woman that I am, I believe that the women that have worked with me past, present, and future, you boo, I believe that we do this work from such a powerful place of impact. And so when we are doing work from that place, there is such good in us. So this idea that the more that we get is going to just amplify that. And the more that you get is going to allow you actually to give more to others too. So it says how you're going to be a little bit more unwavering, or a lot more unwavering and unapologetic about what it is that you want. How are you going to declare more of what you want? How are you going to stay in the room with what you want? How are you going to stop holding on to shame around what you want? That is the number one trait of a woman who allows this lifestyle for herself. She knows that she's worthy of it, and she's not going to apologize anymore. I don't care how much apologizing you did. I don't care how much hiding you did. I don't care how much judgment you did. I don't care how much you badmouth anybody else. If that's no longer you, that's no longer you. So now you get to step in a space where you give yourself permission to have this. And I know for me, I had to do a lot of work around the fact that, and I still have layers of it. My mother only made this. My mother only got to this place in her life, or here's what my grandmother was able to do. Like all of these stories, I just know so deep inside of me. I believe that those generations before us, they're so proud of where we are now, sis, and they want more for us. You get to have more. They're not wanting less for you, right? If you think about what you give to your children, or what you give to your grandchildren or godchildren, or whatever it is, like you want more for them. You want them to be better. Even sometimes if the delivery ain't there, our parents, a generation before us, they just didn't know how to communicate in a certain way that was like actually emotionally stimulating. So sometimes they didn't know how to communicate, and maybe we took that on as like they don't want certain things for us, but actually they always did. They just maybe didn't know how to communicate that as good as we do, because you know we're that age of we're using things like tools like therapy and healing and journaling and all the self-work that we're doing in this generation. Remind yourself that they just didn't know how to communicate that, but they absolutely do want more for you, and I know you want more for the generations to come in after you. You get to have that more so that you can be that example for them. And the second trait is owning that your expertise, that your experience, your skills, your knowledge, knowing that you are meant to leverage those things to now create that more. You get to leverage those things to contribute to the more that you desire. So one thing I want to say, literally, I have told my mastermind clients this in my money map, and I've given my clients in the past like access to this. It's basically a spreadsheet. We have a line that says miscellaneous money, because I am so open to money coming in every always. There have been times where Mike and I have, like, one month we found basically like $1,000 in an account that we completely forgot about. There's been times where we'll look at something in one of the stock markets. Mike was like really into doing some investments, and we were like, oh, we didn't even discover that there was this money over here. Or there have been times where like we'll have a random check come from, I don't even know, something like with the in New York we have this like STAR program. It's basically like something with the school districts, and when you overpay you like get some money, whatever. And so like, oh, here's this money. Or like there's been times where like I'll have like a tax refund, which y'all know as a business owner we won't really be having tax refunds, okay? But it's like, oh, we had an error, here's like this. There have been times where I think that I'm gonna pay something, and like especially for taxes, like I will oversave for taxes because I just rather, and I've learned that, y'all, the first couple years of my business that was not me. This last couple years, every year we make sure like, hey, we have our taxes, the money set aside, and thank goodness every year we pay our taxes. We don't like linger them on or anything like that, and that's okay if you do. But my point is, there have been times where like we're over saving and then we go pay them, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I remember one time I had a couple $1,000s left over. Like, oh my goodness, okay, I get to use that for something else. So money comes in always. I basically have a line that says miscellaneous money. Here's what I want to say. We know that the gifts that we have, the genius that we have, it is meant to contribute to us having more. I am not saying it's the only way that we have more though. That is something I have truly opened myself. I used to think that way. I used to feel like me making money in my business is how I allow myself more. And now I've realized, wow, I have investments from Mike, and I have investments from this. We have gifts from this. Mike can contribute to some things. Like I used to, especially y'all, the men I used to date, I used to feel like, okay, I have to be ready. I gotta come, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And when I I started realizing it's just not me, myself, and I in this house, and it's just not me, myself, and I in this life that we're creating, and it's like we're doing things together, it changes your mindset, right? And so I'm being very clear when I say I need you to know, right? It is time for you to tap into that trait about yourself where you own that your expertise and your experience contributes to the more that you desire and you want. Still being open, still having space for miscellaneous money from other ways too. So with that being said, your natural gifts, your natural expertise, it's not just owning that you get to use those things to create and to contribute more in your life, but it's also you owning that it's enough. And that truly is the deeper part of that trait. How many times do you sit and you go back and forth with yourself about whether or not whatever it is that you do is worth this price, whether or not you should charge this much for it, whether or not you should really go for that higher paying client that you want? Like, how many times do you sit and go back and forth with yourself? And how many times does that leave you in a state of procrastination? How many times does that leave you in a state of comparison? How many times does that leave you in a space where you are not able to truly show up the way that you really want to? Maybe you show up once a week, but if you were really in this state, you'd show up more often, or maybe you show up once a month, right? How many times you have a big month and then you go hide? So all of these things are attributed to you owning that your expertise and your experience gets to contribute to that more that you desire and you deserve, but also it is enough and you don't have to question it and you don't have to undervalue it. Sometimes we be like, okay, I want to amp up my messaging and my visibility and my marketing so I can sell more powerfully and attract higher paying clients who really value what it is that I do.
But sis, you be in your journal and you be in the background not valuing what you do, but you're wanting other people to value what you do.
So you're going to have to tap into this trait. And y'all, I'm telling you, there is work that needs to happen here. I actually want to take this moment to let you know I have an upcoming event I want to invite you to. Hit the link below to sign up to join us. It's my free 3-day money making messaging program, my boot camp. Y'all, if you want to work with me for free and work on this positioning that we are talking about, so not only the messaging to position what it is that you do to help you gain more clarity in how you position that expertise and that experience, right? So that you sell more powerfully and attract the clients you want, but also the mindset, the confidence, right? To own it. You want to work on these things, then come work with me for 3 days. It's completely free. I am so excited. I cannot wait to serve you inside this program. Women, like, I can't tell you the amazing feedback that we get when we run this. And so listen, go ahead and sign up right now. I can't wait to see you inside the program. Here's the thing. You don't see a woman who's making 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, who goes back and forth with herself about what she does, who goes back and forth with herself about her message, who goes back and forth with herself about who she serves. All of the energy that you waste, all of the time, all the momentum, all of the things that you waste going back and forth is the problem. It causes you to have ineffective messaging that's not positioning what it is that you do, that's not positioning your insights and your influence and the intellect that you have. It causes you to go back and forth. So when you think that you look like an authority when someone asks you what you do, but then you're like stumbling all over your words, you're not able to really show up as an expert, then people are not going to want to pay you as an expert. There's not this display of this woman who's bold and who's confident, who's having this level of conviction with what it is that she offers and what she knows she brings to the table and the value that she knows that she can bring to you, person. So like that belief can't be built for them to trust to give you their money when the belief isn't displayed and isn't shown and isn't presented, is not positioned, right? And so that's why I'm so excited when I work with women in my program. That's why I'm definitely telling you, like, come to this 3-day money making messaging boot camp so that we can get this work going for you, because the energy, the confidence, the enoughness that you get to tap into, the enoughness that you get to embody, that's this trait. You have to be a woman who embodies the power of her work, the value of her work, who understands how to position it, who understands how to talk about all the things. I can keep going because this trait is so huge. I can't tell you how many women I see who do such amazing work. Like, once you really talk to them, you're like, oh my God, you're incredible at what you do. But by that point, their ideal client has lost interest. They've gotten confused because all of the things they started out talking about had nothing to do with the things that really matter for them. So they've stopped paying attention. But because I'm a messaging geek, I sit and I listen and I'm dissecting it. And it's just so beautiful to watch a woman who knows what she does is powerful behind the scenes, but to help her create and craft the compelling messaging that's going to captivate the audience who really wants to pay her for that thing. So she stops wasting her time with people
people who will never pay her, who will never see her value, who will always want to discredit it, who will always want a discount. That's next level energy. And then take that and watch that woman show up for herself for the next 30 days. Watch that woman show up for herself for the next 60 days. Watch that woman show up for herself for the next year, for the next 2 years. Watch how she shows up when she does video. Watch how she shows up when she's on the microphone. Watch how she shows up when she's recording the podcast. Watch how she shows up when she's writing an email or creating content or in sales conversations with on calls with clients. Watch how she shows up when she walks into the room, the level of embodiment. So like, I could go on and on, but truly it's really about embodying your expertise. And that is both from a confidence standpoint, but also from a clarity standpoint. So having the mix of the messaging and the mindset is genius, is gold, is all the things. Make sure that you join us inside our 3-day free money making messaging bootcamp. I can't wait to serve you inside this next one and help you step into even more power when you are presenting and positioning the amazing work that you do so your prices can match, sis. Come on, let's get it together. Because I have a feeling that you have been nurturing and pouring into and investing in your genius, your expertise for years. And no, it's not just your degree and your education. It's through hands-on personal experience in your career with individuals in your community. Because I always acknowledge for my clients, I know y'all been helping some people for free before you realize you could be charging for this. Or maybe not. Maybe you were charging from the first client, because I definitely was. But being in a space where you allow yourself to realize this. Let me break this. Let me give you this aha. Let me break this down. You literally have a skill set, have a talent, have expertise, have knowledge around something that you've probably been showing up to a job in your corporate career to get a paycheck for, but you won't show up for yourself to create that paycheck because you get to sign that paycheck. You get to decide what your prices are. I remember telling someone years ago, if I want a raise, I'm just going to increase my price. Like, I don't have to wait for a raise. I remember in my corporate job, literally this was the moment, my moment in the mirror, if you ever heard me talk about it, where I came home and I was like, I have to say yes to be an entrepreneur. I don't know what this looks like. I don't know if it works. I don't know anything. But what I know is I do not like the feeling that my company just told me, yes, you're doing an amazing job. Yes, we know our best client, your team has wrote this letter and like said this and said that to not your manager's manager, but your manager's manager's manager. Yes, we are aware of that, but you need to be in this role for 12 months before we can have any conversations of anything else. So should I stop what I'm doing for 12 months? Should I stop working for 12 months? So everything that I've been doing up until now is not being recognized. Like, you're telling me it's good, but it's not recognized on my paycheck. I don't see it on my paycheck. Being in a space where you realize I get to take back that power around what I'm charging and how I'm showing up for my business and who I'm working with and all that, it's gold. But I do want to say this, even if you are someone who does not necessarily want to go full-time in your business. Yes, I went full-time in my business. You know, it's been 8 years at the time of this recording, 10 years total as an entrepreneur and in business. But I am very, very clear. Like, I am not this like, yes, you have to go full-time if that's not what you desire. Because sis, I have clients who are executives, who are on the C-suite, who are managers within their companies, okay, in their corporate jobs, and they make a 6-figure salary. And they have built this additional business that literally brings in an extra $3,000, $7,000, $10,000 a month in their life, right? For others, some of them have like financial goals of things that they want to hit, like investment properties and things like that. Some of them literally, it's just a passion project. And it's like the most fun thing because they literally just show up in their business. They do things that they love. They've been able to do it. I don't want them, this video isn't about that, but you know, it might be 5 to 10 hours a week that they're given to their business. It could be 20 hours a week that they're given, right? Whatever that looks like, right? It's different for everyone. I have clients who literally are moms. And so they're literally taking the money and they're saving it for their child's education. I have some clients who are a little bit more mature and they're using it for retirement. When I talk about 6-figure, I didn't mention it in this video, but in my coaching, I talk a lot about like, who's the high ticket you? Like, you have to get in tune with that. You have to get in tune with whether your goal is 6 figures, 500K, 7 figures, whatever it is. You have to get in tune with, why is that my goal? Connect with that for you. That's going to be really, really important for you so that you can get clear on why you're doing this, on what this means for you. And you can really hold on to that and you can grasp onto that when there are tough moments, right? But I just wanted to say that because I don't want to portray this like you have to go full time in order for you to fully be this woman. No, listen, there's nothing wrong with you having a 6-figure salary and having a 6-figure biz. Come on, sis, like, go ahead and create the different streams of income that you desire for yourself. But whatever it is, the whole premise of this trade is you owning, I have a level of expertise, I have a level of experience, I have skills and knowledge in that. I could be creating additional income to contribute to my home and contribute to my life and contribute to the more that I desire. I could have that. And that could be from fully my business. That could be from my business plus other side hustles. That could be from my business and a corporate job. That could be from multiple businesses. That could be from insert however that looks for you. But you owning that you have that expertise, because the saddest thing for me, and it's just because I felt this way in corporate, feeling like I have this genius and I'm only letting my job use it for this paycheck. paycheck that I have no control over, and until they want to have a conversation about a raise, even though on paper I'm bringing like, here's what I've done on paper, right? That's where my term monetize your shine came from. Like, I felt like I was going to networking events, I was using my shine, my energy to show up for the company. What was I getting in return in that moment? And whatever way I valued in that moment, and the way I valued it in that moment was me making more money in my paycheck. Like, that was really the only measure point. And so that feeling of feeling like you're smart and you're great at what you do, but not getting paid what you want, that's not just in corporate, that's in business too, which is why we're talking about this, which is why I'm inviting you to that 3-day free money making messaging boot camp. Because what I don't want to see, whether you're completely full-time in your business or not, I don't want to see women who have this expertise but aren't able to articulate and position it powerfully so that they can attract the clients that they want. So make sure that you are owning the power of your expertise, your experience, and not just owning it, but understanding that you get to leverage it to create more for yourself like you desire and you deserve. And you get to realize how enough it is, how more than enough it is, and that there are others who want to pay you for what it is that you do. And so now it's really about you giving yourself permission to be seen, to be known, to be sought after, to be paid for that genius. And I want you to think about this. Like, when I think about corporate careers, I mentioned how like I would show up and do events and stuff for my company. Think about that for a minute. I'm willing to be visible for my company. I'm willing to show up for my company. I'm willing to present at meetings. I'm willing to present to my management team, or present to, my team, or help my team, or insert all those things. If I'm willing to do those things for that paycheck, am I willing to do those things for my own, the one that I can sign, the one that I am in charge of like increasing at any point if I desire to, the one that I can sign 2 clients in this month, I could sign 10 clients in this month, I could sign 50 clients in this month, or have 50 sales of a course or whatever it is this month. When you realize the fact that like you really do have this power now to contribute to that more that you desire and that you deserve, that is beautiful. And understand that you get to give yourself permission to fully tap into that is absolutely incredible. And I want you to think about, what does that legacy look like for you? What does that more look like for you? You get to give yourself permission to create that and to have that, and your gifts and your genius get to contribute to that. And it is a disservice that you are doing to yourself to not honor that. It's a disservice that you're doing to your legacy to not honor that. It's a disservice that you're doing to those around you to not honor that. I talked earlier about the fact that, we do get to make more money than maybe our parents made, or we get to make money in a different and deeper way than maybe they did, than maybe they were allowed to, than maybe they even thought was possible for them. We get to tap into that. And every moment that you don't tap into that is you saying, F you, screw you to this amazing opportunity that I have. It really is. No, I know that I have this opportunity. Like, we have social media, we have YouTube, we have all of these platforms that we can use now that they didn't have 10, 20, 50 years ago. And it's up to us to honor it. This is a little deep, y'all, but I did do a video on my grandmother passing, navigating grief as a woman entrepreneur and still being able to thrive, because life be lifing. And it's like, well, how do I still show up in that? Every day is different for me with the grief there, right? And I've given myself total permission. That's okay. And I did a whole video on it, and I gave you tips on how to navigate it / how I am navigating it. But what I will say, one of the things I talked about in there is like revisiting your why, but looking at it from this lineage standpoint, y'all. Now, this is a deep concept, but listen to this. Are we willing to leverage the things that we have available to us now that our ancestors didn't have? There's so much that we can do right now if we give ourselves permission to do it, and if we do the work to do it. We get to have that. So definitely go check out that video if you're going through anything like that. But know that you get to give yourself permission to be paid, seen, known, sought after, and do it well. You get to do it, those things well, and you deserve that. Speaking of that, sis, here's trait number 3. Don't do it alone. When you look at 6-figure women who are all about up-leveling and elevating, they understand that they can't be the smartest one in the room, or they can't be the only smart one in the room. They are excited to look to someone else and to learn, well, how do they do that easier, simpler, better? Then that allows them to own their area of expertise and allow other people to exist in theirs. And I can totally tell y'all, I stalled myself in the beginning of really going all in on my business. I totally stalled it because I had this high achieving, like, let me get a prize if I do this by myself. If I figure this out by myself, it's going to be more worth it. All of the things that I would associate with that. And I done got to it, but I was like, whew, I'm tired. 2019 was this moment for me. I'm tired. I've spent the last 3 years saying I've done it myself. My ego has been scratched and rubbed and dubbed and all the things. Okay, but I'm burnt out, but I'm tired. And now I'm at the break of, do I want to quit this whole business because I'm tired? And I'm so thankful I needed to learn that lesson, because y'all, I saw this happening not only in my business, but I also saw it present in my personal life. Me being able to allow Mike to help me with things around this house and our life. Like, even I can remember y'all going to therapy sessions. Like, I really want to tell Mike I need him to help cook more, because like the thought of like cooking at the end of the day is like really stressful for me, and he actually enjoys it. But then I also found like we had other strategies to help. Like, if we meal plan and I know what we're making, like last week I think I cooked like 2 or 3 nights, and that's really good. Okay, we usually do like takeout Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then we'll eat in the house during the week. And so if we on Sunday can map out what we're eating, so I know what needs to be thawed, what needs to be seasoned, like that type of stuff, I flow way better. And so I felt like that last week. Like, I knew exactly what we were making. And so it was easy for me to groove. Like, you know, I was even coaching for like 4.5 hours last Tuesday. Then I came downstairs and I still had like all this energy, because you know, when you do the thing that you love, you're like, and so I you know, had seasoned some chicken and I was putting that in or whatever. And then as soon as I was done with that, y'all, then I was like, ooh, I can feel it, I'm crashing. And I did. And I had the best sleep that night too. My point is, I realized how much I was doing things alone, not only in my business, but also in my life, even to like times when I needed help from my family. And I've never asked my family for help. I had a situation happen in my family where my aunt actually was like, well, why didn't you just ask for help with that? We didn't know that. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think to. I'm the one everybody comes to for help in the whole family. So whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, whether it's financial, whether it's like relationship, whatever it is, I don't think like, oh, let me go ask somebody for help, because that's not how I was raised. I was always like, I need to go figure things out, right? And to the point where as this high achiever, like this self-reliance became like a badge of honor. And so what I want to say is, as you are growing as that 6-figure, multiple 6-figure plus woman, you are going to have to deal with that within yourself if it's there, and understand that you do not have to do it alone, right? And that could look like your home team, right? So who's helping you in your house? Something as simple as, you know, if there's daycare that you need to use, or nanny services that you need to use if you're a mother, if there are cleaning services that you need to use. Literally, y'all, while I'm recording this video, there is somebody here fixing our AC. Mike is home today. It's a Monday, and Mike is home, and I heard the person come in the door, so I don't even know if y'all heard him. But the point is, like, no, babe, don't try to go figure out how to fix that yourself. Let's go ahead and hire somebody to fix this and do this, and let's do it the right way, blah, 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 blah. So like, you are going to have to realize that for yourself, that you don't have to do it alone. And that's another reason why I do want to invite you to that 3-day free messaging program with me. So it's my free boot camp. It's Money Making Messaging Boot Camp. For free, you can work with me, but most importantly, like, not only you not doing it alone with a coach and a mentor, so you'll have me by your side, but also being in a community of other women who are not wanting to do it alone either, and who are working through these things too, because that goes back to you building that unwavering and unapologetic belief. I can't tell y'all, there are so many times I felt alone in my business, because I felt like I was the only one having a conversation in my immediate friends or family about 6 figures, until I realized I could have those conversations with more of my friends. But I was nervous to have those conversations. And then you start to think of, well, what are they going to think of me if this and of that? And so you don't realize how much, if you don't normalize something for yourself, if it's not normal to you, then you're going to think it's either not possible. You're going to think you're weird for going after it. You're going to think it's something that is not available to you, because it's not your normalcy. And when you start to allow yourself to be in circles and be in rooms where it becomes the norm, it is the norm to talk about 4-figure clients. It's the norm to talk about 5-figure clients and deals. It's the norm to talk about showing up and being visible and creating content. It's the norm to talk about paying taxes, and not this like energy around like, oh my God, I don't get a tax refund because I'm a business owner and like this and this. And instead being like, wow, I get to create this money myself, and I get to, y'all, okay. This is so funny. This is totally a side note. So I have notes over on the screen, okay? And literally we use Google Docs. And so I am in my notes for this video, and I just have them on the screen, you know, so that I don't forget stuff. But literally I just saw Faye. So hey Faye, Faye is our editor. I just saw Faye on my team pop into the document. And so it's just so funny, because I'm literally talking about not doing something alone. And she literally, the icon popped up, so it lets me know somebody else is in the document. I know it's only her because she's working on something. But anyway, look at that, y'all. It's so amazing when you like realize little things like that and see how like I did a prayer, how in alignment things are. I did a prayer before this video and I said, God, please allow me to speak whatever needs to flow me and display whatever needs to flow to me, to you, right? To the person that's viewing this, to the woman that's viewing this. I don't know if it's her next 6 figures. I don't know if it's her first 6 figures. I don't know if she's already made multiple 6 figures and she's having this hard place of like mentally staying there, because that's a thing too. So I would love for y'all to comment are you wanting to make your first 6 figures? Are you wanting to make your next 6 figures? Like, where are you at? Are you at multiple 6 figures and you want to like stay there? Because y'all, there definitely is something that we don't talk about in the industry. We talk a lot about like how to hit your first, 6 figures. But when we talk about like, listen, I've already been making 6 figures and I need to stay in the room with this, or like not wanting to sabotage, right? Not wanting to self-sabotage yourself down. Those are deeper conversations that we need to have. So let me know where you are, because if we need to have more expansive conversations on this, let me know. I'd love to hear what else is coming up for you. And do not forget to join us in the free Money Making Messaging program, where I get to be your coach for 3 whole days. We get to spend time together. We get to be in this community and you get to have the support, but also you can bring up what's coming in, what's coming up for you from this video, so that we can go through it deeper. So cheers to letting yourself be supported. Hey babe in the editing room, when you see this, she's probably gonna laugh. All right, love, I hope that you can examine these 3 traits that I've shared with you that are common among 6-figure women that I have personally worked with and coached and mentored, and from my own journey too. I hope that it inspires you to build bigger belief, to build this unwavering and unapologetic energy around the more that you desire and you deserve. I hope that you are able to step into deeper ownership of your expertise and your experience, and not only own it, but also understand that you get to leverage it to contribute to that more that you want and that is yours. Like, you're worthy of more. You are worthy and meant for more. You are meant for more. You are meant for more. I literally have a sweatshirt that says meant for more. We'll pop up a picture and you can get it. Also, I'll put a link to where you can get it if you want to grab one. But I want you to examine these 3 traits for yourself. I want you to let me know what's coming up for you inside the comments, because I'd love to go deeper into this if there's more coming up for you. And then also don't forget to join us inside of the free 3-day money making messaging program, where we can have deeper conversations on any of these mindset pieces that are coming up, but also the more strategic pieces that are coming up for you too. And until next time, love, shine, and success in life, business, and everything in between. Y'all also make sure that you share this video with a biz bestie, a mastermind sister, because we said don't do it alone, right? So don't do it alone. Don't keep this to yourself. Make sure that you go share this with a biz bestie, accountability buddy, or mastermind sister who needs to hear it. All right, y'all. See you soon. Bye.